And there we are. Okay, so today is part 2 of Tunnel Books, and this is going to be the construction part. And I'm going to try to go nice and slow. Please feel free to ask a question at any time if there's something you don't understand, because it is a little complicated. All right, so I'm assuming that everybody has their at least a minimum of 3 pages. Is there anybody who had a question about that before we get into the constructing part? You all?
Professor, I sent you the 3 pages.
Yes, I thought they were great.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything, so I was nervous.
No. You know, you can't be teacher's pet all the time. You know, I'm looking for. I showed you the pieces before that I took apart, and I'm now hunting for them. Like, where did I put them? Oh, here they are. Because I'm saying, okay, we're going to use these to put this back together. If you have not cut them yet, you may want to check with me and ask what the story is. All right, so let's see if I can't explain this. Sheet number 1 of your tunnel book has the biggest opening. I'll put this guy over here. The second one has a little bit less. The third one has a little bit less still. And the last one, and you'll see I ripped this out. That's why it has this ugliness there, but we're going to glue that again. The last one is solid. So I have here a 4-page tunnel book. And when they go together, they're going to be sort of like that. All right. So let's talk about this. Your baffle is very, very important. I gave you in your packets a template for the baffle, and I measured this, so I know this will work for 3 or 4 pages, but you can change this if your book is a different size. This is 6 inches, so this is going to fit exactly. The baffle will fit exactly to your book, and each one of these is somewhere like about 3/4 of an inch, or maybe 5/8 of an inch or so. So these have to be the same exact size. If you wanted to do your baffle out of oak tag or colored oak tag or something else like that, or construction paper, you could. I'm recommending you combine the 2 like I did here. This is the template sheet, and this is the baffle, the construction paper. I'm going to do this now for you to show you what I mean. So you need 2 baffles to do anything at all here. So let's get that part done. Step 1, and remember, come in at any time with a question. Step 1, you cut. Or if you're making your own, you're going to measure, and that involves a ruler and a lot of patience. But for the sake of this, if I were doing this with a class, I would make the size uniform for everybody, unless you have one of those students that really can do it on their own and would, and so on. Okay, my next thing is I want to glue it onto a sheet of construction paper. I'm going to, for this, use a glue stick. I think when you use Elmer's glue wall for something like this, because the paper is thinner, it could ripple. And rippling looks so ugly. It really is not a beautiful thing. So let's just use the glue stick, because once it's glued on there, glue stick is fairly strong. Not super strong, but fairly. Okay, so I'm going to turn my shape over. I'm going to get my glue stick. When you teach this with kids, they love to lose the cap. So never throw a cap out. Always have a few extras, because they will lose it. It'll roll under a radiator and you'll never find it again. Also, they like to open it like lipstick, and you can't let them do that, and just explain to them that that's wasteful for the environment, that their parents pay high money for taxes, and that you're not going to allow that. It would make you sad. So, kids will understand. Now, usually I don't glue in the middle very much for this. I want to a little bit, because I think our folds are going to want to be overall pretty glued. It's not exact, but so I'm going to just do this sort of like that. Okay. Then I'm going to trim it. Like so. All right, now we have, by the way, today I put up 3 images from my last workshop I did of these, and I'll put up some more. It takes forever, because I cannot figure Blackboard out to save my soul. I really cannot. To compare it with Canvas, which is a similar thing that my other college uses, it's apples and oranges, and I'll take Canvas over Blackboard any day. That's all I have to say on that matter. Okay, you're going to fold along the lines very carefully, and you're going to do our little thing. We can do them every other way or not. Just want to make sure that I'm getting it along the line. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Using your scissors to really help it. No, wait. Is this going to be the right way? I'm actually gonna go the other way. I'm going to put the black on the outside, because I see I did that on this one. And I think that will strengthen. You don't have to go both directions with this the way we did with our other work, where we wanted the paper to have a memory. This is less important. Okay. Now I'm just trying to make sure that my fold is pretty much on that line. I mean, it's not exactly rocket science here. Don't lose sleep over it. It'll still work out. If you were doing this with little kids, you would be doing this in front of a TV the night before yourself. Little tiny kids could not fold this expertly. I would say maybe 4th grade, certainly 5th grade and 6th grade could, but just little kids, you can't expect it. So you're stuck doing that if you want to do a project like this with littler kids. Then I'm going to show you also how you could turn it into like a little mini theater. If you have an English teacher in your school who would really be interested in collaborating, you could do plays or little puppet shows and so on, because it's theatrical if you don't glue it. I'll show you what I mean. Oh, that's not a very good one. My folding skills are getting worse as I practice. There, that's better. So what we're trying to do here is have have both sides match. And I notice that this side is going down on the black side. So I want that side to go down on the black side. Let me just do that. You could kind of go over this a little bit more, but I think you get the idea. Now we have two. Okay, any questions about the baffles?
I think my baffles are shorter than my pictures.
Your baffles are shorter than your pictures?
Yeah, I mean, I measured 6 by 6, and I didn't glue the white on. I just bent it with the paper on top of it.
What are your baffles made of?
Construction paper.
They are. You may want to do them again. I mean, you didn't put it together, so that's okay. Now you have a choice here if you do it this way, is that you could put the white on the inside and the black on the outside, or vice versa. I'm not sure what would be better. You could see here that because I took this book apart to show you this is pretty bad. I think I'll use the darker side, even though it's kind of a little sadder. And I don't know, should I put the white on the inside or the black? What do you think?
Yeah.
Black on the outside, white on the inside? Maybe, what do you think? Anybody have
I think black on the inside and white on the outside.
Okay, we'll go with that. Black. Oh, black on the inside, he said. Now I got to fold it the other way. No, it's going to be white on the inside.
White it is then.
Because otherwise I'd have to glue it this way, and it would really not. You see, you would fold it the other way. The only reason I folded it this way is because the other one was folded this way. When you're going to set this up, try to understand this. This has to go flat like that. So I would have to fold all of these folds, like every single one, again, the opposite way, which I could do, but I'm too lazy to do that, so I'm not going to do that. But you're probably right, Emilio. But anyway, we're going to go with the other way, just because of my stupidity and laziness. Okay, all right. But the whole thing, just keep in your mind. This is for Teresa. By the time you finish a job, you know how to do it. So that's okay. It's fine. We all are learning. Okay, so you're going to use Elmer's glue all for this. And you're just going to put a nice brush of Elmer's glue on the back piece like that and smash it down. Now I have these paper clips here so you can nudge it. Obviously you're going to take them off, but it just helps with the drying. There are a few projects that it really require kids to hold something while it sets a little bit. And I try to teach them patience and so on there. Okay, so there's that side. And I mean, do you all understand that if I did it this way, I would have to fold it the other way? Yeah, okay. Because it's just like how the folds work out. So depending on which way you want to do it, pay attention to whether you folded it the way I did or the other way. They're equally easy to fold. It's not a thing, but it's whether the fold is like on a V with the white side or the black side. All right, so there's going to be my back piece for my book. That's what you're going to do first. This, no matter whether you're doing a stage set, is always going to be what holds your book together. And now I can set it up. Can you see? I can set it up. The thing I wanted to share with you about being like theater type thing is that, now wait, did I make this the same size? I could show you with this one. when you have extra folds, okay, see, this was done with like a heavy oak taggy type paper. So it has a really good fold to it, but it needed to have, it needed to be measured. So that was a little bit of a pain in the neck. Let's see if my luck is good here. See, for a stage set, you can just slide something in and out. So you could have something like with a friend or a human or an oil driller or something, and just say, and then the oil driller came around. So some of the pages don't have to be permanent in there. You just have to get the front and the back. That's the key to a tunnel book, is to get the front and the back, and then you can change it at will. I just think it's a really cool thing. So do you all understand that once you get the front page and the back page, you can slide in? Well, I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. Okay. So now we're going to do the next, I'm going to plan this. So let's see, where do I want this? I think I might want this one like right next to that. And then this one's going to be definitely in the front. And then this one could be, let's see, if it's here, then I have room for something there, or I could move this up one. I don't know what I want to do here. Let's see if I did this here. I think the background's kind of boring, so I'm going to put this next one right here. All right. So I'm going to go one over, right along here. If you have a Xerox machine that will do heavy paper, or even a printer, you could get some gray index paper, some light index paper. And you can see that this page is a little bit off, so I'm gonna have to trim it when I get it done. It's a little higher. Can you see that right there? That's crying out for a little bit of a trim. So nothing is forever. As Emilio learned as he ripped apart his pop-up book for the second time or whatever. It happens all the time. You know, the way you learn to teach it, of course, is by absolutely making a mistake. If you make a mistake, that's fabulous. And you'll
I
always
made every mistake 3 times. So I
Okay,
was
well-
really learning.
every single mistake you make really reinforces that your students will make that mistake, and you can then expect those mistakes and in some cases prevent them. Well, this is odd. This is totally odd. My thing does not want to be. Hold on. The best laid plans, it does not want to go where I want it to. I think this page might be a little wonky, short. And if that's the case, I have to correct for that. So here, let me correct for it. You know, sometimes when you cut things on paper cutters too, that's another idea, is that the paper cutter will not be square. Let's see. Okay. Well, hang in there, folks. Hang in there. I'm not daunted yet. Okay. All right, so there we have that, but this is bothering me so much. I'm just gonna trim it right now because I can't take it. There we are. Might need a little trimming in the middle as well, but okay, so there we have that side. It may be true that I have to, okay. This is my first page, this is my second page. It may be true that I have to be very careful and not go all the way to the line. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna make, I think I'll put this one here. So it'll go 2 over. You gotta make sure you're not gonna glue it. Have you ever done bookshelves and then you've got like an IKEA thing and they're all like one down and stuff like that? It's the same idea here. Just be careful you on the right accordion fold here of your baffle. You're gonna find your baffle baffling. Bada ba boom. Okay, this is the one we want. You might want to actually make yourself a little note, like put an X on or write the number of the page you're going to glue there. Okay, and here we are. On the tune. Let me put a big one on for a minute. Here. And again, see this page, you can see it. So I know my paper cutter goes on an angle. That doesn't mean I don't use it because I need to use it. But after a while, the arm kind of just gets a little off. And I suppose you could fix that, but it hasn't ever bothered me to the extent that I've fixed it. Okay. Now, let's get ready for page 1. This, of course, is a metaphorical painting of a tree that becomes entangled. Trees in love. This is going to be a tree in love. So now this one is going to go here. But if I wanted, I could then, I have 2 empty slots. I could put in other things if I wanted to make it more like a theater. I better be careful because I'm kind of thinking my back sheet maybe was sideways or something. I don't know. For some reason that this isn't fitting as tightly as I would have liked. Okay. Let's see how that stretches across here to there. That's pretty good. Okay, I'll accept that. Okay. Don't do this when there's noise around, or hungry children or anything. Do this when your brain is functioning. Because you do want to be paying attention. Okay. So there you have it. Let's do the questions now. Can you see the top? Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No, what I was saying is my pictures are 6 by 6, but if you measure the baffle, the white page and the construction paper is like 5 3/4. I didn't realize that. And I didn't use the white paper. I didn't paste it on the construction paper. I just folded the black alone.
I don't know why that would be, but I know they are 5 3/4 this way, but that should not matter. What matters is that this is 6.
So the picture is a little bit longer.
Oh, I see. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's the way it prints out. So, folks, if you notice this, here, if you'll notice this, see, you learn by doing. You'll want to add 1/4 of an inch to this, if possible.
Okay. Now, do you have to put the white page and glue it on, or
No, no, but what you do, what your chances are,
put it against it and just
guessing is kind of difficult because this will maybe not match. On the other hand,
right?
if if we were in school together, I would have bought some very light index paper, like a gray or something,
Mhm.
that I could Xerox on at school. And I would have Xerox these for you, but I didn't realize that that was a 1/4 of an inch off. But
I didn't either until now.
I mean, I think that's part of the problem I was getting into here, is that it wasn't, my page wasn't fitting as well as it could have. But I mean, all's well that ends well. It looks fine to me.
Right.
I would accept this as a very happy result. Now,
Not to confuse anybody, but I was just thinking, I have a tablet of vellum. Might be interesting to use vellum in those baffles and draw on the vellum.
is the vellum stiff enough? It has to be stiff to hold the oak tag. That's the only thing. Is it stiff enough? It might, otherwise it might.
It's kind of, it's almost plasticky,
Yeah,
like they see-through kind of plastic stuff. So it's not the thickest paper, but it has certain substance to it.
but would it hold a fold? That is something super important.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but when hold a fold, that's also very, very important. Does anybody else have any questions? Because I want to talk about the cover next. You do not have to do a cover. Absolutely do not have to do a cover. However, if you do it. No, you don't. And again, this is like by the time you finish it, you know what you're doing, sort of thing. And I made this cover for a bigger book, without realizing it. To make a cover, I mean, the first thing you should do is make your book, and then make your cover. This was something I just did very ad hoc. So I do have illustrations of this on Blackboard, pictures of step by step for making this particular book. And you can see I used here a very cheesy method of using blue contractor tape. Can you see here? Painter's tape, as a way to put it together, because these little pieces all have to look good on both sides. That's a problem. And then you have to somehow hinge them together. Now you could do that with construction paper. That would take 99 years. I mean, it's okay. It does take 99 years, but there's no one exact formula. So the back piece is just like we did for the pop-up book and for the accordion books, where you're covering a piece of cardboard with a piece of construction paper using the envelope technique. Does everybody remember how to do that? Where you're, let me get some construction paper here. Oh, that's not construction paper. Where you're doing this idea. I'll put it over here just in case I want to show you the side. You do the edges very carefully. The edges are super important here because that's where you cut from. Then you make a gentle envelope shape, because what we're going to do is cut this out. And then we're going to tape it up on one side. For this, it'll work. For the back, it'll work. So, and what I like to do is make a mark so I know which way, because my paper cutter is never very good. So you cut that out, fold it up, and then you have a back piece. For the side pieces, you've got to measure what you think you want. Like really, I almost think this would be a better, see this width would be a better shape. But you've got to either do 2 of these because one side is going to look horrible. I'll just explain it here. Let me just do one for you with the side. And you could make paper hinges. Paper hinges will work, but here. You know, it just depends on whether you really want to do this or not. I'm not sure it enhances the book that much at all. I don't know.
I think it gets like a real beautiful kind of jewelry box kind of look to it. I think they're worth the effort.
Okay. I just don't, I know that there were people who were a little, giving this a less of a curve because I want to make sure it covers the corner. Now I'm using Scotch tape for this. Normally I would use masking, but my masking tape is across the studio and I don't want to get up and waste your time. So the corner has to be just so clean to get that nice, see, you want that nice, really clean edge here. So your problem becomes when you get a piece done really beautifully, I definitely could cover this too. I'll show you. Okay, so I've got one nice side for my book. Like, let's say it's that book, or even this one, if we're going to redo that. I could take and figure out making an inside piece that would be, let's see if that's going to be about right. I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not measuring anything. I could do this. I mean, that's one way of finishing off something. All right, so there we have one side piece. Now for this, you need five pieces total. So that's one piece that would go on this. It would go here from the back piece. However, you still have to attach it. So let me just show you an attaching method and we'll go from there. I'm not going to do the whole cover, but I think you're going to get the idea if you want to do it and listen to Emilio, who has a very good aesthetic brain. Have you gone to any galleries or shows or anything? Emilio, are you listening? Are you?
I was at Hauser and Wirth. I saw the McCarthy exhibit. That was kind of spooky. And then I saw the Romy one also.
And
with the words.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
You know.
And then I went to the Whitney right afterwards.
What's at the Whitney right now? Just the same old, or do they have a show?
I think it was just the same old,
Yeah.
but it's always beautiful to see. Actually, there was a really beautiful contemporary photography exhibit, African-American photographers in the 70s. So it was like inner city, New York, Chicago, street stuff. Really good. You know, a little like Starsky and Hutchy kind of.
Yeah.
But really beautiful photographs.
Interesting. I have not yet gotten in for that. It's on my list, but I'm just going slow.
Oh, and then I also went to David Zwimmer. I saw the Alberts and Morandi. That was
Oh God, unbelievable, right?
I love Joseph Alberts and his squares. I love them. And then the Morandi still lifes are gorgeous.
Yes, of course. I think at his gallery, he's got a show of Ray Johnson coming up. I'm really coming in for that.
I'm
But
sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that?
Ray Johnson, there's going to be a Ray Johnson show next month. And I curated a show with Ray Johnson back in the 70s when I was getting my master's degree. And he's a real interesting artist. He's dead. He killed himself. Sad to say, but really interesting. So I'll remind you of that when that comes around, because I'm looking forward to it. Just a very, very, very sui generis, one of a kind. No.
Oh, cool. I was also thinking about that Howardina Pindell
Oh yeah, she's interesting.
exhibit at the Shed.
Yeah. Well, the Shed's gonna have is it the Frieze Art Fair is coming there?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Right.
I took the Times or one of the papers had a schedule. They're all coming up in April and May. But I haven't wanted to go out. Now, I mean, look at, talk about wonky gluing. Miss Healy, really. Yeah.
No, so nobody's wonkier than me.
Well,
Gluing on the wrong side of the step. My pop-up book didn't pop up. It just
well, anyway,
didn't pop.
I'm winning the mediocre award tonight, but that's okay. I just tried to show you.
You're in good company.
Well, that's good. All right, so let's say that this is the. I didn't even have to do that after all. So it doesn't matter if it's wonky. So I'm going to want to make a hinge. Well, making a hinge is, we could put a piece of tape there, but that would be sort of ugly. So I think the thing, and this paper is sort of thin paper. It's best to use construction paper. So I think the best way of doing it would be to just make like a fake book binding. And this would be best probably done. You need to keep a little space between each one so it can fold and bend like that. And like that, she said. You would do this much more slowly and carefully. And then you could make a little binding like this and fold it up. And well, this should be matching. How come it's not? There we are. Okay. And then, well, you get the idea here. Hold on. Maybe I should have used Elmer's glue. Oh, that's an idea. Do one side first. Hello. That's a great idea. But keep a little space between there so you can accommodate the fold for when it folds up. Turn it over. All right, well, it's not rocket science, and I don't have any humans on board, so. But then you'd have to do that very same thing, likely inside here. No, I use Elmer's. Do not use a glue stick on this. This is, anything that's under pressure, you really don't want to use a glue stick with. I'm just trying to show you the method here that you could use using paper for the binding. And then you would put like a whole nother piece here, like a whole nother little piece here. That would be like the flap here. And just remember, the side flaps have to look good from both sides. This then would get glued down on top of here. That would be the side. Then there'd be a front. And then actually the front probably would look best if it would close perfectly. You could also get some Velcro, little dots or something, or figure out how to make a little latch. You could overlap, make one a little longer than the other one, so it could overlap and close. I mean, there are lots of closure possibilities. You could also decorate it somehow from the outside if you want to. No, there's no obligation to do that, however. So I'm perfectly happy if you just get the inside done. And if you want to do the cover, it's even better. But I just don't want to ask too much of you during these difficult times when it's hard enough to teach this from afar. So anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to have a couple seconds of silence just so that I can find out where the recording is supposed to be cut.